welcome to Literal News, your #1 news network for literary news. I'm your host, April.
And I'm your host, Carolyn.
In recent news, Lucas Jackson, an escaped inmate from a Florida prison, has finally been caught after his third attempt to escape prison. Jackson had initially been sentenced for 2 years for damaging public property, and after the death of his mother, he attempted his first escape. For the third time, he escaped with another inmate who goes by the name Dragline. Luke Jackson was found in an abandoned church by the police and was shot by a guard. Now we will bring it over to Anna, who was live on the scene with exclusive details and a witness from this event.
Thank you, April. I am here at the church where Lucas Jackson was just recently shot by Boss Paul. At the moment, he is taken to a prison hospital where there's some chance that he may not make it. Here is a close friend of Lucas and a witness of the shooting, Dragline. How well do you know Lucas?
Luke was a good old boy. That man ate 50 eggs. The man was a legend to us. Good old cool hand Luke. That man never backed down to anyone. I whooped him so bad once that he couldn't even stand, but he still never backed down. Luke was proud to a fault.
Why did you tell Luke where Luke was hiding instead of keeping quiet?
I got myself scared, for both Luke and me. After Luke dismissed me, the reality that the wardens were after us slapped me right in the face. They caught up with me right after the split, and I tried to save both our asses. I got the wardens to agree that if I showed them where Luke was, they would spare me, and that they would spare Luke if he gave up nice and quiet. I tried to convince Luke to give up nice and quiet, but good old Luke is way too proud to sell his soul just to live.
What did Luke do after you gave him an ultimatum?
My boy went right on over to the window, smiling, and opened it right up. Luke looked the warden straight in the eye and said, "What we got here is a failure to communicate," doing his best impression of the captain. Then bang, just like that, Luke's on the ground.
Law Captain?
That cool hand Luke is a natural-born world shaker. I should have known he would never give him an inch. The guards could never beat that Luke smile out of him.
I'm being told that our witness tried to strangle Boss Paul. We've also discovered broken glass on the scene that appears to be sunglasses. What are your comments on that, Dragline?
There's gonna be some world shaking.
And this just in, a patient, Chief Brondum, has escaped from a mental hospital. We're also hearing news of a death that occurred overnight at the same hospital. The deceased patient was Randall McMurphy. He was found unresponsive in his bed this morning.
I am here at the psychiatric ward with head nurse Ratchet to talk about the events that took place in the hospital. But first, Miss Ratchet, what happened to you? Are you a patient or a nurse?
Yes, well, I am the head nurse here at the hospital, and these injuries were results of McMurphy before he underwent his lobotomy. Obviously, he was very unstable and a danger to all those around him. You know, we nurses have to put our safety on the line when it comes to dealing with these sort of people. It's dangerous work, but we just care so much about our patients.
We heard about his death. Can you tell us about the details of what happened?
Like I said before, McMurphy was often aggressive and unruly and was definitely one of the more difficult patients that we've had. We have tried everything, but he just continued in his negative behavior. It's not surprising that one of the patients,
Mr. Brondum?
Yeah, Mr. Bromden, would have so much pent-up anger from McMurphy's aggravating ways and decide to end his life.
Really? I've read his file, and it says that he's deaf and mute. How could he be angry at McMurphy if he couldn't even hear or see?
Now, Mr. Bromden was very unstable and pretended to be deaf and dumb for 10 years. God knows why he would do something like that. But I always suspected there was something wrong about him.
Wait, so you're telling me that he's been pretending to be deaf and mute for 10 whole years, and you didn't even notice?
Well, when you're dealing with the mentally unstable, nothing is as it seems. But moving on. Tonight, I received a call from one of my night nurses saying there has been an incident in the ward. And being the dedicated nurse that I am, I rushed there immediately and find Mr. McMurphy dead on the bed due to suffocation. we immediately wake up all the patients from their sleep and question them. But no one seemed to know anything about the situation until we noticed one person missing, Mr. Bromden.
And how did Mr. Bromden escape the ward? It looks pretty secure to me.
We found a broken window near the entrance, and it looked like Bromden lifted that control panel over there and just smashed it into pieces.
My God, he must have been incredibly strong. That thing is huge. And where do you think Mr. Bromden is headed?
God knows where. That man has been locked up for a very long time.
Locked up?
Has been a patient in the hospital for a very long time. So I doubt he knows where to go or what to do. I suspect the police will catch up to him within the day and that he'll end up right back here again. Then I will personally make sure he undergoes a lobotomy to ensure the safety of himself and others.
Okay, so back to Mr. McMurphy, the patient that was recently just murdered. How would you describe his relationship with the other patients?
Like I said earlier, before his lobotomy, Mr. McMurphy was a very rebellious and rowdy patient. He would never follow protocol and would always cause a scene when he was supposed to be doing his chores. He was a really bad influence on the others and pressured the patients to act out in the same way.
What sort of things did he do?
Why, he would do absolutely crazy things like change the routine of our schedule. He once had the gall to suggest that we vote to change the television time, as if we don't know what's best for him. Let me tell you, that man had some serious problems.
Okay.
The other patients may have had misguided feelings about him, may even consider him their friend, but in the end, no one can go against the rules without facing the consequences.
Actually, his death has caused an impact among the hospital. In fact, several are leaving the institution. Why do you think that is?
They're simply acting over misguided emotions. I guarantee you, every single one of them will be back here when they realize what a cruel world it can be.
Well, thank you for your time, Nurse Ratchet. Back to you guys. Jeez, that's one scary lady.
Thank you for tuning into Literal News. We'll see you next time.